right, we're live. Everybody make sure you have your microphones on. Good evening, sorry for the delay. I'd like to call the December 1st, 2025 meeting of the Town of Cicero Zoning Board of Appeals to order. Ms. Robinson, please call the roll.
Here.
Here.
Here. Here.
Here. Please take note of the fire exits located in the front and the rear of this room. At this time, please silence all cell phones and pagers. Please note that tonight's meeting is being live streamed on YouTube and is also being recorded. At this time, please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Has everyone read the minutes of the November 3rd, 2025 meeting? Yeah. I did provide one correction. Does anyone else have corrections? Okay. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve?
Okay, by Mr. Mays. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, by Ms. Luckett. Please call the roll.
Even though I wasn't here, I read the meeting minutes, so I guess the motion.
Yes, the motion.
Same as Mr. Rabia. I was not present, but yes to the motion.
Yes to the motion.
Yes to the motion. The Cicero Town Board acknowledges the importance of full public participation at all public meetings, and therefore we urge all who wish to address those in attendance to please come to the microphone located in the front of the room. At this time, I will make a motion that all actions taken tonight are type 2 actions and have a negative impact that is no impact on the environment unless otherwise indicated. Do I have a second?
Second.
Ms. Luckett, when you're ready.
Yes to the motion.
Yes to the motion.
Yes to the motion.
Yes to the motion.
Yes to the motion. I will briefly review the process for tonight's meeting for the benefit of those present that have never been before the Zoning Board of Appeals. Each applicant will have an opportunity to describe their project. The board will then ask questions about the project. I will then open a public hearing where people will be able to speak for or against the proposed variance. The applicant will then be given the opportunity to respond to public input and provide additional information. Board members will be allowed to ask follow-on questions. Board will then openly discuss the 5 factors that contribute to the final decision. Please note that this board does not have a pre-agenda meeting, so there is no prior discussion of cases outside of this meeting. And then finally, a motion will be made either approving or denying the requested variance, seconded, and voted upon. Before we get to our cases, we do need to address our 2026 meeting dates. So I will make a motion to establish our meeting dates as follows. Meetings will occur the first Monday of the month, with the exception of September, which will occur on Monday, September 14th, as Labor Day is Monday, September 7th. So just that one exception.
Was July 4th, or is that enough?
I think that we're
Weekend
clear of that. Yeah. Perfect. And that's in the form of a motion. So do I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
All right, by Mr. Rabia. Please call the roll.
Yes to the motion.
Yes to the motion.
Yes to the motion.
Yes to the motion.
Yes to the motion. So our first case tonight is a continuation from a case from last month for area variance for a property on 7021 Van Antwerp Drive. The owner and applicant the owner is James and Don Vivella. Our applicant here and representative is Mr. Murphy. Just as a note, we did leave the public hearing left open, so there will be an opportunity for more input later on. So, Mr. Murphy, if you come up, you provide us with a few additional pieces of information. If you could come up and talk about those with us, please.
Sure, absolutely. Everybody, I imagine, is in receipt of my letter. I can take you through that letter and just kind of talk through the different documents that we submitted on behalf of Jim and Don Vivella.
If you could, sure.
At our last meeting, you requested an updated survey. We provided 2. We just had a couple of different documents, and we figured, might as well provide all the information that we have. The Current survey dated November 8th, 2025 from Paul James Oshefsky clearly indicates lot 20. It indicates the right of way. It indicates, the property.
Could I stop you for, so that's in the addendum subfolder, so
That's addendum number 1. Yep.
sorry for the interruption.
Yep, no problem. That's addendum number 1. It shows lot 20. It also has a lot of additional information on some of the neighboring and abutting properties. It's this one right here.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not.
No.
So this is addendum 2. Hmm. Okay.
I think that's the one, isn't it?
That does,
I guess it is
exception of
correct.
highlight.
Maybe it's the yellow highlights.
Did you highlight it, Chuck, or no? or-
I did not highlight.
Okay.
So, the second survey is a little older survey. It's from, I believe, 2007 from DW Hanig. The Vivellos actually own the, property immediately across Van Antwerp Drive as well. And here you can see, a little, larger extent, the right-of-way and how Van Antwerp Drive sits on the right-of-way parcel. And because it showed a lot more context, I wanted to provide that. So that is the next addendum that we provided. The third attachment, application addendum 3, is a copy of the Vivello's deed. This also mentions this right-of-way and access through it. The fourth addendum is the original Van Antwerp.
Where you're pointing to that shows the right line.
Thank you, Terry. I was gonna ask, thank you. I was gonna ask that question.
I think that's what you're referring to. Yeah.
That's
Middle.
another right away, but
Yeah.
Together with a right-of-way over and upon said private road and right-of-way to lay, operate their water pipe over the same with a pump and engine, such pump. But this is a right-of-way. It's an access, it's a road.
I think that's the front part of the,
If you look at this document right here, this is the original Van Antwerp subdivision. And that survey that you have right there is this piece.
I just don't know that it's in your deed, that's all I'm saying.
You see what you're saying right here?
Yeah.
The street.
Yeah, it's the first part of it, not the second part.
Yeah, so I guess
I can't give an opinion that, it's not my opinion that they have the right of way to the subject right of way, which is to the right of their property.
So and Terry, just because we're talking about this topic now, I just wanted to, my reading of this was that that's specific to the water, at least what I'm reading there. It says water line, pump.
Yeah.
And whatnot, doesn't say anything about actual access to it beyond being able to maintain that water line.
And it may not matter to the board, but I'm just saying that's what my position would be if asked.
And and that's a good point. And as I would like to give direction to the board, you're all going to have to weigh this individually, since there's not necessarily a clear answer here as to what's what.
well, I think
There's
there's a clear answer to what's
well-
what. It's a right of way.
Yeah, but it's not the right of way we're talking about. That's what I'm saying.
Right, we're talking about this property and this whole project is on this property. The right of way abuts this property. This is very similar to like a corner lot condition. People can carry things through a road. They can carry a box across the street. they can carry a dock through a right of way. But things that shouldn't happen on a right of way, like occupying it, right? Like you can't park in the street and just leave all the vehicles you want out in the street. You can't put storage units out in the right of way and block the whole right of way. Like those are things that aren't appropriate in a right of way. But certainly access through it, carrying things across it. I think anybody could drive here and pull over and walk up to the lake. I think it's owned by the town. Just like,
But you're not pointing to anything, so you can't just think things.
no,
You have
no,
to come with proof
that's-
for these.
that,
for
that,
this.
that's what it is.
Yeah,
This
well,
is,
That's nothing. That's a map that somebody drew.
and this right here, this survey from Hannig and Polashevsky show this 20-foot right of way.
Right, but it doesn't show who has rights to it. It shows it, it depicts it. It's there.
Correct.
We all know it's there.
Yeah, it's the same right of way that is the right of way for the entire Van Antwerp Ave. And everybody in the state of New York, the country, whoever wants to, can go and access this. It's a right of way.
I think it would have to specify that it's a public right of way. Yeah.
It's a public right of way. Yes.
But I don't think that's what it says.
That's not what it says. That's what I'm saying.
Well, but the deed is one thing, and we're not even asking about anything in the right of way.
But I think the question at hand then is, do you have documentation someplace that this says this is a public right of way? With specifically with the word public?
I mean, I don't have anything to say that, I guess it's, to me, the right of way that the way it's indicated on any
This could
survey,
be Joe Smith's right of way. We don't know whose right of way it is.
it's everybody who uses Van Antwerp drives, right? It's Van Antwerp's drive.
So you just said that anybody could use this, but are you saying now that it's just people that have an address on Van Antwerp Drive?
No, Van Antwerp Drive's not a private road,
But it was at one time. And
but
that's
it's
what
not
that's
anymore.
That's what that's referring to. If you look at that deed and that back from 1922, it's referring to the water line in the
I almost
public,
don't
in
care
the
about the right of way.
public or private street,
But-
not that side property.
But
So-
Just let's
That-
look.
Still
that-
the-
that's im-
One, no, I'm sorry, Steve, continue. Did you have something else
I was
to?
gonna say, I don't believe the town owns it. It's a paper street on a map. There's never been a road built there. There's nothing been dedicated to the town. It's
So
not owned by the town.
in my,
It's
and
not
that-
owned
and
by
that's
the
where I
town.
was, and that's where I was getting at, which is in my past experience, I'm a civil engineer and I deal with some of these things. When we have camp roads, which is what I believe this actually was, it's very murky as to how those were actually turned over, if they were turned over to municipalities. A lot of times the municipalities take them over just by assumption because they come through and they pave it and they maintain it. Where it gets murky is that these little spurs that we're calling right of way. And mind you, language changes over time, and this was done quite a while ago. If the town never, there could be a case made that if the town never assumed that or maintained it or paved it or clears snow on it, that they didn't assume ownership of this. So even though it's a right of way, it acts more as what's called an access easement. In order for it to be a true paper road, there would have to be something in the town, which Steve, I'm assuming there isn't, that says that the town of Cicero owns this piece of property.
Right.
So that's just as a little bit more information here as this was coming up.
Yeah, I mean, we can't find
knowing-
anything. I mean,
knowing that-
we're
Well,
looking.
hold on. So
Sorry.
knowing that this was going to be an issue, I did reach out both to Steve and to our attorney Terry for a little bit of help with this, and nobody came up with anything. So I have to assume that evidence is not there, and it's kind of buoyed by the fact that you couldn't find anything either. So I think the real question here in front of the board is, are we willing to allow an expansion of that non-conforming structure to what may be a right of way, what may be an access easement. Regardless, it's
Does it,
close.
I mean, at the end of the day, does it matter? Should we just focus on the property and what he wants to do within his
I-
property line?
I would prefer to focus on the property and what is
Mhm.
going on within the property,
Yeah.
in totality. There were some questions as to the dock that the applicant has
Right.
constructed and whether that's actually maintainable.
Right.
After these improvements are made. So that would be my suggestion.
Yeah.
Okay. With that, other questions?
So I think you guys talked about it last month, but I mean, you know, from my perspective, I think the proposed project's just way too close to the side property line, right? I mean, if I looked at it, regardless if it's a right of way or someone else's house next to it, I'm not sure we've done anything that close in 25 years.
Yeah, not that past cases are an indication, but it's.
Agreed. I'm just,
But it's not like we're talking about a driveway or a shed that's right up
Correct.
against. It's a rather immovable structure. My opinion only.
so I don't know, like I said, I don't know how much you guys got into it last month in terms of the actual physical project. I know there was a lot of discussion about right of way, but
We got rather wrapped around the axle on the right of way piece. So
should
I
we
think
spend some time on,
it would
what
be
he's proposing?
appropriate to, yes, that's a great suggestion.
should we bring it up on the screen and just review it again for
Yeah.
everybody?
Chris, would you mind bringing it up? If you can zoom in on it too, please. Be helpful. Because Terry, I know you had some questions relative to the layout, but I think having Mark and Rob look at it with fresh eyes.
You know, one of the questions I had, and I'm not an architect, but why the width there? Why so close to the property line? Why don't you just make that that
Yeah.
addition longer, you know, along the length of the house?
And we certainly can. What's really driving a lot of the footprint that you're looking at is the second floor layout. The master suite on the lakeside with the ensuite bathroom, and closet features. So, you know, we can definitely pull it back in. You know, and work inside of the setback line if that's what it is. If there's any variance or forgiveness that could be given here, that would be great. It seems like conceptually, when you look at some of the say the survey, for instance, how tight that side condition is. Here, we've got an open grass 20-foot area. I mean, it's a very different
Yeah.
condition than anywhere else.
I'm aware. I'd rather not get
Um,
involved with a right of way discussion again.
Yep,
Just look at the
I
property itself.
agree. So, you know, if we've got to, you know, spread the program out more and stay within that setback, if that's the feedback of the board, you know, I'm sure a plan could be worked to do that. What we were trying to do was preserve the view as much as possible by not putting a solid form out in the lake yard. We do have a transparent screen deck type of structure out there. So that's more see-through. When we put up permanent walls and more hard sheetrock and things of that nature, it becomes harder to see through something. So we were trying to keep that more along the side and not out in front, so as to keep the view from everybody neighbor-wise the same. But you know, we can look at pulling away from that property line some. Is there a you know, an amount the board would feel comfortable with there? If we were to pull it back to 3 feet, 4 feet?
So that's down to the individual board members and they're just in
Okay.
their own consideration of this. But I mean, personally, when I look at this, I think it's much more reasonable to stick with the line where the new stairs are right now,
Okay,
if that makes sense.
sure,
At least that's my opinion.
sure.
Which would be, I don't know, is this the
Yeah.
scale? What would that be? A foot or two over maybe, or
Yeah, I think it probably varies from the lake
Yeah,
yard to
probably.
the rear yard a little bit, just given the offset of the property line but I mean, I would say it's probably between 3 and 4 feet, something to that effect.
I just have a couple of comments. One is going back to the right of way. I read deeds every day, both here and in the Adirondacks. The Adirondacks are loaded with conveyances. Conveyances are either extraordinarily broad or they're very specific. This one is very specific. There's no speculation that it's a public right of way at all. It's for a specific purpose only. Secondly, I would agree with Chuck. If you brought that back towards the stair line, I think that there's a level of compromise that can be reached here. That's
Yeah.
the direction I would think about going.
Is everyone else comfortable in talking about that, or?
I would say yes, because I think that also then reduces your lot coverage. Oh, no, I guess it wouldn't. If you kept the same square footage,
Well, it would reduce the lot coverage some.
well, unless you expanded it.
Depends on which way.
Yeah.
It does.
I think there's some existing windows that are on that
It
side
would
that we're
stop
hoping
you
to
from going
keep
south.
that really kind of prevent us from really going south too far. But there might be a little space to be gained there, but I don't think largely that would be a way we would try.
What else? Yeah, I think, and Mark usually says this, but our charge is to prove the minimum variance is required to do a project. So there's a little bit of back and forth
Sure.
sometimes with this, and we definitely appreciate the consideration of that. So with that, if there's no other questions, we do have a public hearing that's still open. So if you don't mind, I'm going to continue the public hearing. The only conditions I'd like to place is that because this is a public hearing and not public comment, if there's something new that people bring that they want to bring tonight, go right ahead. If it's just going to be rehashing what we talked about last month, that's all going to be in the minutes that are going to get published very soon. Correct, Mr. Robison? Yes. So those will get published very soon. And that's really all I have to say. So would anyone speak for this? Would anyone speak against this? Okay, something new. Okay, come on up. Don't forget to, even though we've seen you before, please state your name and where you're located.
My name's Eric Veralt. I live at 6995 Lake Shore Road. And I oppose this. The late document, cut it short through not new information, but this is unnecessary hardship. They already have a garage, like Mr. Murphy mentioned, so the closet on the first floor, the storage could be used over there. What's driving this is the second floor bathroom, and Ms. Luckett talked about possibly moving the bathroom to the left side where the closet is. But because the special bathroom they have, which is like a shower built within a tub, and to keep the plumbing stacked, they would prefer to have that bathroom on that side. This is nothing that's, this is unnecessary hardship. There's nothing unique about this property either. Pretty standard compared to all the other ones in the area. Obviously, Mr. Murphy also agreed in his documentation that the difficulty is self-created, and it was also discussed as the last meeting. The R10 district requires a combined side setback of 15 feet. This entire thing would bring it down to 5.88 feet. This means the variance requested for the total thing is 9.12 feet, which is over 60% less than what is required by code. I took a quick drive down Lakeshore Road this past weekend towards Bridgeport area, and seeing all the houses stacked together, it gives you the feel like Myrtle Beach or South Carolina, where everything's just piled together. As a weekly user of this right, they will narrow my view corridor, encroach my deeded lake rights create potential conflicts over access, like it was discussed with the lake, bringing the dock out. And, variants have been shown to lower property value and diminish privacy. Driving by those houses on Lakeshore Road that have like a little front yard, I'm like, who would want to live there? I wouldn't pay big money for that. You know, Town Cicero is the heart of central New York. It's a place to live, work, and play here. It's a family-friendly neighborhood, quality of life, lakeshore living. You guys have invested some money into the local waterfront visitation program to enhance access to the lake right. Approving this variance here would narrow like the lake rights. Like Mr. Murphy said, you can drive through and see the lake. It's awesome. People bike, people run, people walk their kids, their dogs. They can all see the lake. By narrowing that view, it would be detriment to all of us. That's all I gotta say. You guys have any questions?
Are you directly to the east? Is that where your house is?
No, I'm west. I'm diagonally across from it.
Got it. So you're, okay.
Yeah, and there's plenty of room for their closet space. I mean, once this is all said and done, there's gonna be 6 bathrooms and there's 2 people living there. So another bathroom closer to the water is more of a need, a want than a need.
No questions?
All right, thank you. Sir. Sir, if you want to come up.
Craig Taylor. I live at 7001 Van Antwerp Drive, right down the road. 20 years ago, I remodeled my house. And I had to consider how much property I had to the left and to the right before I expanded, because I want to have a dock like everybody else. So I purposely could only do so much because I knew what am I going to do? Park it on my neighbor's lawn? You know, I'm going to have to infringe on him. Well, that's exactly what's happening here by him expanding right to the property line. Now he is forcing use of that right of way. And like you said before, there's nowhere, it's not on his deed. This has already been litigated through Judge Eloy in Onondaga County Court 3 times. Everyone's lost. So that's all I have to say.
Can you expand on that? What do you mean by it's been litigated?
Well, it went to court. Bill Myers took it to court, to county court, to prove that it was a road.
Meaning that it is owned by the town? Is that what
What's
you're
that?
saying?
No.
Meaning that it is owned by the town?
No, that it was a right of way, that it's not a road. He was trying to say it was a road. Yeah. Yeah. So.
All right. Thank you.
Yep.
So this time I'll close the public hearing. Does the board have any further questions?
I don't have my ruler out here. What you're suggesting, are those stairs are 3 feet from the property line? Is that what you're saying? You're saying bring it back to the stairs? That's not 3 feet?
Stairs are more than 3.
I mean, it looks like, honestly, it looks like more than that
Stairs are 5.
empirically.
Stairs
are 5.
Okay, that's better.
I'd almost,
That's better.
This is everyone's personal opinion here right now, not mine.
Say
do
again.
do we want to
This is
get,
time for everyone's.
do we want to
personal
lay, do
opinion.
we want to lay this out properly, right? We're going to be guessing here, right? Because I can scale it and it looks like 4 on one side, 5 on the other for a total of 9.
My intent here is not to do guesswork.
Yes, right. Me neither.
The options here are I mean, at least in my mind,
Or stay within
if
setback.
it's stuck where we are right now, I have a mind to deny the variance.
Yeah.
But it sounds like that there's going to be, there's at least a willingness to try to work with this, come back with a counter plan that actually shows the side yard setbacks.
And it reduces the amount of variance requested, right?
Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay. Mr. Murphy, are you agreeable to that?
Yeah, I'm happy to take that feedback back to Jim and Dawn. And I think we can create an addendum update to pull it back to be in line with that stair line. I think at the lakeside is the biggest it is. I think down at the roadside, it's going to be a little more just because they're not running parallel. But I don't want to give you a figure because I don't have it, but I'll see as much as I can to pull it in and work with them to accomplish what they're looking for and submit it back to you.
We appreciate that.
Thank you. I appreciate it as well.
So what we'll do is I'll hold the public hearing open yet again, so please strike that closing. And what we're going to do is adjourn this to our next meeting, which should be January 5th. I make that in the form of a motion.
I'll second the motion.
Okay. When you're ready.
Me,
Mr.
yep.
Rabius, sorry.
Yes, me. Oh, yes to the motion, sorry. No, I'm confused.
Yes, the motion.
Yes to the motion.
Yes, to the motion.
Yes to the motion. So we'll see everybody back hopefully on January 5th for this one. Thank you. Okay. So our second and final case tonight is an area variance for a property on 6745 Route 31. The owner is Erwin Coast Jr. and the applicant is John P. Yard Jr. You wouldn't mind coming up and describing you?
How's everyone doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, good. So my name is John Yard. I work for the Image Press. I'm a project manager. I'm here tonight to represent our client, Big E Tire. They recently took over for the Chandler Automotive location. And here just to talk about some signage. We're slightly over what's allowed for the property. And our team plans on replacing their signage with front lit letters to make it more visible from the road. There is one type of sign that is currently on the property that is staying, and I've outlined that in my drawings. It's the LED sign box that's by the road.
Yep.
I believe altogether, I'm here to just request a variance for 41 additional square feet of signage. And one note that's really not in here is the reason for a majority of that square footage is the client had requested that the letters be spaced out a little bit more. So that is stretching out the overall length of Big E Tire and sales, I think is what it's saying.
So but this is building mounted signage, right?
Yes, sir.
These are singular letters that are on the,
Absolutely.
so Steve, don't we just count the letter, not the
I was-
space?
I had asked Dominic that.
Okay.
Yeah, and unfortunately, you do the whole.
You just gotta draw a line around.
My recollection is faulty then on that. I apologize. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's quite all right. So I think the only thing that we haven't yet submitted was an updated survey of the building. We did submit one, but it wasn't current of 2 years. So there was a little bit of back and forth, and I'm happy to provide that. The client is currently getting that updated and stamped by the surveyor. We just didn't get it submitted in time.
What would it have looked like if you were to follow the code? I mean, would everything have been tight together or no?
Yeah, very tight.
It's a much longer name than Chandler Automotive, right?
It is. And with some of that signage, as you can see on the building, it currently says Chandler Automotive. Those dimensional letters are being removed.
Right.
And we did, I will note that I always try to go with what's acceptable by the code, just so that it's a little bit of an easier process. That was design comp number 1, and it was by the client that he had requested that we put more space in there and adjust the size. So no matter what, it did go over the allowed square footage.
Steve, question for you. When you're calculating the square footage of the sign, you're using the tallest, which is the E, and you're using that across the board as square footage.
I wouldn't object if.
Because if you do the math, if you take the 27 inches and you guesstimate that the E is 6 feet, and you take that out of the equation, then he complies with the code if you're using the 27 inches height for the rest of the letters.
That's a good point.
So if you take the E out, separate it, and you use the calculations for the rest of the sign and the length, and then you add in the E, he's under the requirement. So there would be no variance necessary.
That's kind of where I was going
I
with
think
this
that's
whole
our,
thing.
that's our clue.
I know.
I do math every day. I can't help it.
So the only real issue that I see here is that we have a survey that's out of date and it
Yeah.
doesn't really show what the building line width of the structure is.
I mean-
Those are my only two concerns.
It'd be nice to have the survey, right? So we understand, but kind of get what they're trying to do from the photograph, but I want to be consistent in our asks, right? I mean, we
Right.
consistently ask for updated surveys and
Oh, yeah.
you know,
I-
if you're
I
a
will
month,
get you that
if you're a
survey.
month away, I don't know that it makes it hill beans worth a difference around the
Well,
holidays.
and I think if the codes office is amenable to what Mr. Bick just said, this may not even be an issue when the survey comes in. I mean, and that's up to your interpretation of it.
What you're saying is figure out the area of the circle and then the line around the rest. of it,
Right.
And then
Yeah, you're basically taking out about 42 square feet when you use the actual letter calculation height. So
Because again,
was.
again, these are just freestanding letters and the E is freestanding also.
Yeah, they're individually mounted to the
Okay.
building. They're stud mounted and then there's a power supply. So these they're illuminated front lit.
Makes sense.
So we might be in a situation, depending on Steve's interpretation, of no variance required.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And I'm honestly okay either way because I think the board can handle it if it comes back to us. So. All right, so if we're working on a survey, what I would like to do is again, what I will do is I'm going to open up the public hearing on this. Would anyone speak for this? Would anyone speak against this? This time I'm not closing the public hearing. The public hearing is going to remain open until our next session or until we find out what else is going on here. So I will make a motion that we adjourn this until our January 5th meeting. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay.
Yes, the motion.
Yes, the motion.
Yes to the motion?
Yes, the motion.
Yes to the motion. All right, we'll see you back here next month, potentially. And based on what we decided today, our next meeting is scheduled for Monday, January 5th, 2026. Does anyone have any business before the board? Okay. There being no other business before the board, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn?
I'll second it.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.